8 children lost their lives yesterday. That will never become the norm in Shreveport, Louisiana.
This is not politics right now. This is about humanity.
We're desensitized to children being killed. When are we gonna wake up, y'all?
To come before us is Robert. Is that Bruchun? Bruchun. Well, I'm tearing these names up today. Sorry about that, Robert.
How y'all doing? All right. What defines a community is not the worst of us. What defines a community is how we come together, how we choose to be better, and how we prevent producing the
Mr.
worst.
Bruchun, would you state your name and address for the record, please?
Okay, I'm sorry. Robert Bruchun, 1533 Marshall Street. Okay. What defines a community is not the worst of us. What defines a community is how we come together, how we choose to be better, and how we prevent producing the worst outcomes in the first place. 8 children lost their lives yesterday. That will never become the norm in Shreveport, Louisiana. Since then, I've met with families, organizations, and community leaders, and we are not just talking, we are building a plan. And today, I want to speak on that plan. At the center of this plan is a partnership with SeedLinks, because through their structure, licensure, and reach, we're able to access schools, homes, and communities the right way and the responsible way. First, we must shift how we approach domestic violence at the beginning, not just the end. We are proposing that domestic violence intervention class becomes a part of the preliminary process, not just punishment. If those steps are ignored, then it should directly impact the consequences that follow. Because right now we are reacting when we should be preventing. Second, we want to work alongside the Shreveport Police Department and support it through the structure of SeedLinks. We want to build a community response network. When officers are responding to domestic situations, trained community teams can step in to support the victim, the offender, and the families affected, because the damage doesn't stop when the call ends. Third, we need education. Just like programs such as DARE address the drug epidemic, we want to reach every child in Caddo Parish, elementary, middle, and high school through a structured, approved initiative that teaches what domestic violence really looks like, because it's not just physical. It's emotional, it's verbal, and it's psychological. Fourth, we are proposing visible resources across the city, emergency response billboards, local tip line, an easily accessible resource list for families in crises, all connected through a coordinated network supported by SeedLinks. We want to deploy trained teams into at-risk communities, not as random individuals, but as certified, prepared partners operating under a unified standard. And finally, we must create a housing support fund to safely remove victims from dangerous situations without making them feel like they are being punished for seeking help. This is not a one organization effort, but it is a structured effort, with SeedLinks providing the foundation and partnerships with community groups, this commission, and law enforcement like the Caddo Parish Sheriff Office, we can build something that actually works. Because this is not
2 minutes.
Because this is not just a moment, this is a responsibility. We cannot change what happened yesterday, but we can take control of what happened next. Thank you.
I also just wanted to place emphasis on some of the things that Mr. Bruchun shared with us, some of the things that we've already talked to administration about and what we can do. I'm sure we'll hear more about it during the administration report. But one of the things that I really want us to be able to provide to the citizens, we talk about a lot of resources that are available and we hand people cards in their hand. But I would love to see us have something like a mobile command center inside of the community where people can actually go and get the resources that they need. We need trained trauma professional people on the streets, boots on the ground right now for such a time as this. I had an opportunity to visit with the grandmother on this morning, and prayer is not the only thing that this family needs. They need love, they need respect, during this time. I know that everybody has something that they want to do and to offer to them, but they are living out loud a very private moment publicly. So anything that they're doing to allow us to be a part of this time that they're grieving and mourning, it is at the cost to them. So I just want to make sure that we don't become insensitive during this time and to give them the space that they need. Thank you.
But the most important thing going forward, as the young man shared a few minutes ago, we have to put something in place. No, not one of us can stop an individual from doing anything, but we can put some stop gaps in between some things for those that are involved. Those young people are gone right now, but the mother's still here, grandmother, and other family members as well. And we must put our black, white, Democrat, Republican to the side right now. We must heal together because everybody's hurting in this parish, in this city, in this state, and throughout. I've received phone calls all the way from San Francisco, Virginia, all over the place. But the thing about it most is not, what do we do? Where do we go from here? Because as we sit and pontificate about all these different things, we have to start doing the right thing. And as I heard the young lady speak a few minutes ago, scripturally, that's the only thing that we could turn to. But there are some other things that we can put in place if we allow God to show us what those things are. So I've taken it a pledge that I'm going to do everything within my power to assist not only this family, but the city, this parish, and the state to pull all the resources that I know of, because having experienced this before, not to this magnitude, but experienced this in my previous life, I'm gonna pull all those resources together. And after I get it together, I've asked Grace Ann to partner with me in this particular case. We'll be making a presentation to the entire board going forward. So I say once again to the community, let's not politicize this thing. You know, I've seen all kind of crazy, and I'm so glad I don't have a lot of Facebook friends, but I've seen a lot of crazy. I've even had some phone calls that I want to just slam the phone on, but I must also say I've received some very welcoming. What can I do? How can I help? What can we do go forward? And those are the people that I want to stay in contact with, and I've asked them to give me a call, touch base with me as we continue to go forward. And I say again, this is not politics right now. This is about humanity. So let's keep that in the forefront of everything we do, because only by the grace of God was it not I. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
And it's hard to read those names. It's hard to see it because those children should not be having their names printed in a news story for something like this. We should be calling their names on a Friday night or at graduation. And I'm tired, y'all. It seems like every year I've got another story, another incident that I sit in front of this board talking about. Just this time last year, I was telling us about 2 women who were killed by their estranged husbands. And I'm tired, and I don't know what to do. I thank you for coming down, Robert, today and sharing your thoughts and your plan. I don't know. I do know that God is near to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That's all I have at this point to lean on is my faith. What broke my heart even more yesterday is to see the worst side of our community. For the people who chose to go on social media and share negative things, share photos that were unnecessary, and to say things that we shouldn't we shouldn't say. And these are the same people who will blame elected officials for not doing anything. But we create this type of culture in our community where we're desensitized to children being killed. And I never thought I'd see the day in my lifetime where we don't even care what happens to people anymore. I can't imagine having to run from my father to try to save my life from being killed. Can't imagine the pain that the teachers and staff are going through at Linwood Charter to try to continue their job knowing that those children are not coming back. I cannot imagine the mother who had to find out secondhand that her children did not make it because we couldn't even be respectful enough to hold our post and our RIPs while she was fighting for her life. And this world has become so wicked to the point we just don't care about how people feel when they're going through their tragedies. It could have been any of us. It could have been our family. We could be sitting in their seat. And we don't practice that. We practice more division than anything. And y'all ought to be tired of that. I'm not just talking to my colleagues, I'm talking to the entire community of Shreveport. We ought to be tired of being on national news for something tragic. We ought to be tired of it. We can be better than this. This family's going to need us moving forward. So I'm asking people to be committed for the long ride, not just now, not just this week, not just for a photo op. I don't care about press conferences. I'm not showing up to not one because that's not getting anything done. If other people want to go, that's fine. You have their right. I'd rather sit with this family. I'd rather be by their side because that's what they need. They don't need any politicizing. They don't need that stuff. Some people are taking advantage of that. That is what's breaking my heart. That's the worst side of what I'm seeing in Shreveport right now, that we're taking advantage of a vulnerable family. People out there trying to get votes when somebody's heart is broken. When are we going to wake up, y'all? At some point, we're going to have to stop playing these games because people are losing their lives. People are struggling while we're sitting on the sidelines and sitting behind our power. And they feel like they have none. They feel like they don't have a voice. We are the voices. We need to speak up and tell the truth. Stop being afraid to have hard conversations. I don't want to have this talk anymore. And I know there's not a lot we can do to prevent stuff like this from happening because sometimes people just lose it. But when we can do something, we should do something. And it should not be a Republican or Democrat issue. We are human beings. We're neighbors. We're citizens of Caddo Parish. And whether it happened in my district or anybody else's district, my heart is broken today. These are all of our children. They're all Caddo children. And so I'm asking all of us to call on our neighbors and support this family. Whatever district you're from, I need you to be there for this family. And moving forward, I need us all to sit down at the table and work on people like Mr. Bruchun and invite them to the table and say, hey, you're out there. This young man is out there, grassroots in the community. He's not in an elected position, but he goes out there and he does things to fight for the community. We need to invite them to the table. Stop having our picks and chooses because some of the people doing the hard work are the people we try to overlook. Invite them to the table and say, what are you seeing out there? Because some of us are not connected to it.